TIFU by leaving my Chairman Mao Honorary Plaque displayed in my room when my girlfriend came over.
Some backstory: I'm American, and in 6th grade, I went with a tour group to China. I knew nothing about the country, the language, or the history, and bought a bunch of souvenirs, which was just random, useless, cool-looking shit. At one stand by the Great Wall, I got an expensive-looking glass plaque celebrating Chairman Mao's victory in its Civil War. From the shop's limited English signs, and some poor Google translating, I got the impression that Mao was China's version of George Washington, a founding leader who won freedom and independence and definitely didn't do any human rights violations. So for the last week of the tour, I showed off my plaque and this new knowledge to everyone in the group and any of the locals who would talk to me. When I got home, I shoved it on a crowded shelf and forgot about it, even after learning a week later about the, genocides and stuff.
Q fuck up. 8 years later, my girlfriend walks into my room and sees a prominently displayed, expensive-looking glass case picturing one of history's most genocidal dictators. Luckily for me, I do this kind of absent-minded shit all the time, so she believed and laughed at my explanation. The plaque spot has been replaced by a fake stuffed panda claw. But I'm on thin ice. TLDR, misunderstood who Chairman Mao was in middle school and accidentally left a souvenir plaque of him on display in my room for years. It was immediately noticed by my confused and horrified girlfriend. Edit, would like to clarify that I know George Washington owned slaves and participated in the Native American genocide. That line was from the perspective of 6th grade me and was intended as a clearly failed, dark joke. My apologies.
If you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, you ain't gonna make it with anyone anyhow. Sun Yat-sen might be a better analogy for Washington, seeing as how he is celebrated by both sides as the father of the nation and preceded Mao.
George Washington, a founding leader who won freedom and independence and definitely didn't do any human rights violations. I have some bad news.
A Chairman Mao picture is considered as a cross/Bible in terms of expelling evils. I want that protection, but it is a little bit overkill for me, so I got a Chairman Mao picture instead. With Chairman Mao, a Bible, and 10mm Glocks, I think I am ready for evils from different cultures.
In the 80s I worked for a shop screen printing t-shirts. I remembered one of the jobs just had big letters displayed on the front, Mao more than ever.
Renaming my cat to Chairman Meow. My cat's a dick.
Based.
I'll buy it off of you if it makes you read a history book that isn't sponsored by the CIA.
When you know better, you do better.
If you're 6th grade, does that mean you're 11 years old?
LMAO kid, you're a hilarious nugget. TIFU. This made me laugh, smiley face.
I mean, you do know what happened to the Native Americans, right? As if George Washington wasn't a genocidal monster. George Washington owned slaves. Some of us count that as a human rights violation. Didn't Washington own slaves, though? Isn't slavery a pretty blatant violation of human rights? How can you say he totally didn't do any human rights violations, when your guy literally owned people? Yeah, he's more like China's Hitler. Except he didn't get high on opium and engage the Soviet Union in a land war in winter. Does she know about Mao's legacy? Also, I found, and definitely didn't do any human rights violations, funny. So is your girlfriend Chinese? I don't quite understand? I guess to some it would probably be like having a picture of Adolf Hitler on your wall. So yeah, okay, I get it. Insert comment about the failure of the American school system. Plot twist. George Washington also has a poor civil rights record. I collect Soviet propaganda and mementos. Some find it weird at first. But people are already close enough to me by the time I'm letting them into my room that they understand it's an aesthetic and historical fascination. And only a few items in my collection are actually indicative of my own beliefs. Edit. Before anyone points it out. Yes, I'm aware, name checks out. You were in 6th grade. But your profile also had a post about you working in a library. Seems Seuss to me. Edit. I take it back. Missed the 8 years later part.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.